I've a word for the king. Stop your rigid posturing. Grab a spoon and help me make a soupy soup and bake a cake. Ounce for ounce and pound for pound, we will build these towers down. You will volunteer to do the dishes. Abundance, fresh all over town. Get those veggies in my mouth. Walmart size appetite. We are looking for a fight. No more theory. We've got to get free. No more pointless waste. We know better ways to make dreams come true. Each and every day, each and every day. No permission necessary. Take what you can carry. Give back what you make. Balance every day with the weight of having to say. Your footprint will do something. 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 Into thin air. Into thin air. Into thin air.
Dumpster diving is like recycling food, but it ends up as poo, not as plastic in a landfill. I usually look behind bakeries and fruit markets and stuff like that. I'm usually looking for food.
It's a really creative way of dealing with what you need.
My life's philosophy. I have no idea how to answer that.
I mean, I don't want to impose any morality on other people. And at the same time saying, like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to do what I think is right. And, like, I've really thought about this. And who cares, like, what you've read in the magazine or, like, what they tell you on the radio.
It's just knowing that we live in this society that is so excessive on so many levels, and that I can live in a way where I can live off the success and maybe contribute to this waste less and live happier because of it, like in the way that I might be like working less and not needing to work as much because I'm living with a bunch of people together in a big house and we're sharing it and having cheaper rent and eating food that comes from the garbage. I mean, that really cuts down the amount of money you have to spend and the amount of money you have to make and how much you have to work. So I guess in that way, dumpster diving fits into my philosophy pretty well.
For food, it's generally financial as well as desire to just use all of the resources available to me, not only the most common or easiest way of acquiring food. With other stuff, when I see a pile of junk on the side of the road, it's mainly curiosity. I want to see what's in there.
And getting anything for free is just so much better. Like, finding the most amazing stuff is just so much more gratifying than going out and buying something.
Some don't build their own lives, but ride the back of success. Toss away all your broken things, no wonder the mess. The kids ate their toast in front of the TV. I used to watch the commercials and there would be me. But soon a brother was born with a clock and a fancy switch. They sold me out because they bought the pitch. Oh, consumer culture, what's a toaster to do? You're nothing but trash unless you're brand new. Ads promote progress, western ethos of dread. If you're not up to date, then you might as well be dead. So I sit on the curb amongst yellowed copies of Esquire, too old to be suburban, too functional to retire. The status quo has outpaced me, my novelty is long past. My destiny lies under material trees and shattered glass.
I don't necessarily spend a lot of time pondering who the couch I found might have belonged to and who might have sat on it, but it is nice to give something a new life when it was going to just get thrown away.
I have acquired a lot of food at various different times, but the more interesting things have been stuff like a spice rack with spice bottles that were
Small
full.
pocket knife.
Sofas,
Glasses,
mattress,
plates, utensil
dishes,
dressers,
toaster oven,
knives,
Fridge.
Clothing,
chairs,
curtains, 5 different pairs of
clothing,
shoes. Yeah, one of my favorite
toaster
t-shirts.
ovens.
Food, clothes,
Nice.
bikes.
stereo. I got my stereo speakers out of the garbage, which are amazing. They sound incredible, and they'd be so expensive if I wanted to buy them, and they work perfectly, which I was so happy about. The fact that consumers and retailers are both so disconnected from food production definitely has a lot to do with how everything ends up in the garbage, just because it's seen like just another consumer object.
If you have an apple tree, a large number of the apples on it will have spots on them. They'll have wormholes. They'll have bruises from falling to the ground. All of those apples are still edible, but they're not necessarily sellable. So if those apples somehow make it to the store, they will be thrown out.
We have all these like huge systems in place to remove it all and just cause it all to just disappear and turn into nothing. People all engage in this sort of weird falsified world where, you know, food just doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from a truck into a store, and then it's thrown out and then put into another truck and then taken away.
And what we're sort of getting at with dumpster diving or picking through garbage is, how can you claim ownership on, you know, food that belongs to everyone, that has grown from the ground? I feel like it really puts into question that a supermarket or a market has a certain responsibility that they need to leave that available to people, because there's a ridiculous inequity between the people who are shopping at this place and the people who are on the street. We're almost entitled to just go and take that stuff, because no one's going to hand it out. You have to go and take it. And also, I mean, there's a really creative aspect to it as well. It's like you can find things and just make stuff that you can't even imagine. I have like some dumpstered toys that I've circuit bent, which is a whole other thing altogether. But circuit bending is basically just like you take the circuitry and you alter the course of the electricity going through the circuit board, whether by touching it with your hand or putting like knobs or buttons on it and stuff, and so it creates this like totally radical sound producing instrument. Dumpstering isn't for everyone, because if everyone was doing it, then where would things come from, I guess. But I think it's more of like an attitude that you take, in that you can choose to think about what you're doing, what you're buying.
I think that anybody could probably get into it, but of course, I mean, when you talk to anybody who isn't, in the close circle of friends, close circle of people that I know, who are all like, vegetarian, vegan, activist, or like artist sort of people, you're very, very quickly you run against the fact that almost everything we do is really offensive to a lot of people, and that's something I always find really surprising. That when you tell somebody, I'm a vegetarian, they'll actually take offense to it, and they'll feel like they're being attacked. And it's the same thing with dumpster diving. You'd be like, I eat lots of food from the garbage, and they'll be like, that is shocking and weird, and you must be doing that because you're crazy, or because you have some serious problem with me, and you're like some extreme kind of asshole. And I always find that very weird, because everybody I know, well, not everybody, but most people I know, dumpster dive in one way or another, and it's just such an understood thing. And then but anybody else you meet on the street is generally pretty surprised by it. Also, I really like free stuff, and anything that I don't have to do any work to get is really great. And when there's so much stuff like that lying around, there's no reason not to.
I found my futon frame in the street, a brand new bed lying at my feet. The old owners hadn't even the courtesy to break it before trashing it. They knew someone would take it. Bless us with lazy charity. Look at my marvelous home furnishings, beauty that I would only own in dreams. Fabulous prizes from the back alleys. design table to the factory floor. Across the ocean and in through your door. Consumer goods are magic. It takes many hands to make them. Throwing it out, we're picking it up. If it functions, then how is it junk? We're remedying wastefulness. We're taking trash home. Leave up the stairs, a pull-out couch, straight back kitchen chair, so we don't slouch while waiting for smoothies from the blender that the neighbors threw out when they moved in September. An armoire of intricate design, a stereo just off the assembly line. It's so cynical to ask us to buy all the great stuff we just always find. From the design table to the factory floor, across the ocean and in through your door. Consumer goods are magic. It takes many hands to make them. Throwing it out, we're picking it up. If it functions, how is it junk? We're remedying wastefulness by taking trash home.
It takes a lot of watts, man, to power those factories. Those looming smokestacks puking dark clouds of consumerism into the sky and into the malls. And then, walking back from the store, you see all these things, these perfectly good kitchen appliances and furniture, and you think, why? All the energy, all the work, just to throw out a perfectly good, not even shipped, fancy China set, because you can get a better set on sale down at the mall.